And we are live. All right. Afternoon, everybody. And this is another one of the trainings that are going to go along with my new book. So this is on how to make the cover, the KDP Amazon cover for my paperback book. I'm going to show you how I do it and put it all together. So this is part of the, let me get make sure everything is sort of working here. We'll hide this. And it's all part of the process for this book and getting the launch of this book out there and get that going. And it's available. The link is above or below if you'd like to pick that up. I have the latest version is up on the Gumroad site, and there's also an opportunity to get some of the training videos that are going along with it, and going to do that. So that's all there, and there's also the workbooks and all the other stuff that are there. So all right, so what I'm going to do in this broadcast is I'm going to show you how I make the cover for the new book. So let me show you. Let me just make sure everything is going here. I think everything is good, and make sure all my Facebook stuff is good. Yep, everything is good. And if you have comments or questions, just put them below in the comment area, and I can access those. So all right. So we're going to make the cover. Let me get the right screen. Let's see here. Put this in. So we're going to make the cover for this book, and I've been working on the inside of this book. Let me get this out of the way here. And this is going to be a paperback, and it will be a Kindle. It's going to be up on Amazon. And so this is the book, and you've seen me working on this book and doing things on it, and it's gone through all its editing and changing and all that kind of stuff. I recently moved a whole bunch of stuff around. I have that little swirly spinning. There it goes. All right. So you can see all of it's in there. The worksheets are in there now. All that kind of stuff is there. This is the media kit. We'll be doing that broadcast coming up. Will be the next one that I'm going to do is how I built the media kit, or which I have to make yet because I haven't done it yet, but that will be there. This is all the intro stuff, and then all the different sections of the book. So it's all laid out. It's all laid out in InDesign. It's an 8x10 book, and I think it's 164 pages long. So you can see everything. In fact, let me see if I can make this just a little bit bigger. There we go. And so lots of examples and graphs and charts and all kinds of stuff that you can use to help market your book and do all that kind of stuff. So it's all there. It's coming out really. I'm really pleased with it. It has come out really, really nice. And those of you who are members who have picked up this over there, they can you can sort of see different versions of it as it has evolved and changed, as all books do. It's just usually we don't make them public while we're doing all those changes. So, all right. So let me get that out of the way there. So what I'm going to do is the way I build my files. Well, this is kind of fun. Maybe do a thing on that. That's how I market everything. The way that I build my files is I just build them along, but at the end of the file, I'm going to come down here to the end. We're almost to the end. I put and build my covers. So I always make one master file that has everything in it. That way it's completely, all the parts are together. If I make a font change or I do something different, I don't have to go look around for different files in different places. It's all in one file, and you'll see it right down here at the bottom. So here it is here. So there's the back cover, and there's the front cover, and this was the old cover that I did. That's what I was working on, and right there. And so this is the new one, new cover, new title, all that kind of stuff. So I always put everything at the back of the project, and that way it's all together. Everything is there, everything is live, and I can grab it when I need to when I come to make the file. So we're going to be making the cover for this book, and this is what we're going to make. Let me see. Do I have that here? Oops, it's right here. Okay, this is what we're going to make. I'm going to show you how I make this. This is the full cover for the book, and I'm going to show you how I put this together. And any book that's going as a paperback on KDP or Ingram or anywhere else has 3 parts to the back cover. So the parts are going to be, it's going to be the front cover, there's going to be a spine, and there's going to be a back cover. So we have to make all 3 of those, and they all go in one general page, one file that has everything on it, just like this, right? So this is the full cover, and it gets folded up and glued onto the pages. And when you upload this to KDP, you upload a cover file and you upload an interior file right here, all this stuff. And they go up as PDF files, 2 PDF files, interior and cover. And the cover has the back cover. Oh, it does show up there. Back cover and the spine and the front cover. So that's what I'm going to show you how I put that together. So let's just jump right in. All right. So in order to do that, and then the reason I have everything in the other file, my master file, which is right here, is I can just pick these up and copy it and place them into the file. You'll see me do that. I'm going to take, here's the back cover. In fact, I was just sort of editing my back cover copy. In fact, I think what I want to do is make this justified, like so, probably better. And I was just doing that and fixing that stuff. So I have it all here, and I'm just going to copy it and paste it into the new file. So, all right, so here we go. We're going to make this. So, all right, so what do I need to know? What's the steps that I need to do? So the first thing I need to know is the size of the book. So my book is 8 inches by 10 inches. So this is an 8-inch right here, 8-inch by 10-inch high book. But it's how big do I make this spine? And there's a little formula that you use. It's pretty easy to do, and they give you the numbers that Amazon gives you. So it's based on if you're doing a black and white book or you're doing a color book, and how many pages that you have. So I'm doing a book that has color in it. And if your book has any color in it at all, anywhere, on any page, then it's a color book. Even if it's all black and white, except for that one page of color, it's a color book. But if you have color, then it's color wherever you go. So I know I have a back cover is 8 by 10, the front cover is 8 by 10, and the spine. So it's based on a formula that they have a little number called the PPI, the pages per inch, the PPI number. And for color pages, it's 0.002347. So I'm going to go right here, bring up my little screen share thing that I have here. Let's see, application. And I think it's right. It's in here. Share this. And we're going to go to the whiteboard. All right. I haven't used this before, but this is kind of cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the number of pages. So this has 164 pages. And we're going to multiply it times 0.002347. All right. And that's going to give me the width of the spine. So if I multiply that out, I get 0.3849. I figured these out a few minutes ago. So 3849 inches, right? That is the width or the thickness of the spine. So that's a key number. So the second thing I do is and I do this with every book that I do. I kind of figure out what are the overall dimensions of the outside and the inside. And one of the things you have to remember is you have to factor in that there's some bleed. So when they make this cover, they print it like this. They print it on a little bit bigger piece of paper that has a little extra bit of paper around here called the bleed, because the color bleeds right off the edge of the paper, and they have to trim that off when they put the whole book together. So you have to take that into account and give them that extra paper that they can then cut off. So let's, and that is 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So it's an extra 1/8 of the cover all the way around. So what we're going to do is, let me move this. Let's see, can I move this? Don't know if I can. I haven't used this one before. But basically, we're going to figure out the back cover. Then we have a spine. And then we have the front cover. Like so. I don't think we need that. And then we need a little bit of extra. Let's just go to black. We need a little bit of extra paper all the way around the outside, like so. All right. So we're going to have this. We're going to know this dimension all the way around, and then the pages on the inside. All right. So this is how I always lay out all my covers. Even though I've done 50 books and many, many more for other people, I always do this every time, because it's just, you just have to think the process out. So we're going to have the spine on this side. Whoops. Gotta show people. Gotta show you. All right. So there's my book cover, back cover, spine, front cover, and then this little extra around the outside is my is the bleed. All right. So let's go do this out. So I do this on every one. So the bleed is 1/8 of an inch, which in decimal points is 0.125. And then the back cover, that's the width of the back cover, plus the spine width, which we just figured out by multiplying 164 times 002347. This is the number for color paper. So this is the PPI number right here, this 2347, and that equals the 0.3849. So we're going to go 0.3849. Then we're going to add the front cover. This should be like this plus. Then we're going to add the front cover, which is 8 inches. Oops, 8 inches. Then the bleed, which is this part right here on the front. That's going to be the width. We're going to add all that up, and that equals 16.634 inches. That's how wide my cover will be, the cover file, 16.634 inches. All right, the top, the width, the height going this way, the other way, is going to be the same bleed, 0.125 plus 10 inches, because it's 8 by 10 book, and 0.125. We have the bottom and the top, 0.125, and that's going to equal 10.25 inches. Those are the two dimensions. So I'm going to make a file that's 16.634 this way, all right, this size to here, and then 10 point, down to there. Oh, I like this. 10.25 that way, and 16.634 this way. All right, so let's go make that. And then we have a spine. We have to figure out a spine. I'll show you a trick for that I'd use that has worked really, really well for doing that. So let's change this. And we're going to go screen share back to InDesign, application, and InDesign. All right, there we go. So let's make a new file. I'm going to make a new page. So this dimensions for this. So I'm going to make a new document. So new document. Let's make sure I can see all that. So here we have a new document. And I'm hoping that shows up. Don't know if it will or not. So there's basically the screen is going to show up that shows the new document screen. I guess it doesn't show up when you're screening the application. So let me just change this to the desktop so you can see this. Screen share, entire screen. It'll go zip, zip, zip. It'll go all over the place. And then we'll go back to InDesign. So this is the screen that pops up right here when you make a new document. And I'm going to make this say inches right here. And we're going to make this the 16.634. It's going to be my width. My height is going to be 10.25. So that's the page height plus the little bleed. And it's going to be just one page. So make that one page. It's going to be 2 columns. And I'm just going to put a number in here. We're going to adjust this in a second. And then my margins are going to be all the way around. I'm going to put the margins, the 0.125. 125. You'll see in a minute why I do this. There's a margin all the way around. That's the bleed. I like to know where that bleed is so I get everything sort of lined up correctly. Let's go create. And it should just whirl for a moment. There we go. All right. Now let me just change this back so we have it a little easier to see. Application. There we go. Share. Now here's a trick that I have. So this is my book, and yep, this is my book. So you'll have on the back, you have the back cover back here. You have the front cover here, and then the spine. And now I just need to set my spine width. So this is a trick that I have learned to do, is I'll go into layout, I'll go to margins and columns, and I'm not sure that shows up. And I set my gutter, the gutter space is going to be 0.3849. Let me change this so you can see this, because I don't think the little windows show up. Screen share, screen share. All right, so you can see everything. So this is my page, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the margin width, which is the part in the middle right here, and I'm going to just change, I'm sorry, the column. So I have it 2 columns, column for the back, column for the front, and my gutter is going to be 3849. All right? So what that does is it gives me, if you notice right now, the width, hopefully you can see that. I'll just draw this box here. Let me just do this so you can see it. It's always a little tricky trying to get your gutter set up. So what I've done is I make the spine the same as the gutter. You'll notice this is the front cover right there, and this is the back cover right here. And because my gutter on my 2-column document is the same width as the spine, my spine will be perfect. It'll know exactly where it's supposed to be, and it's the right width, and everything should be good. All right, let's take that up. All right, now let's go to, just keep it this way. Let's just get rid of this. There it goes. All right. So now I have my cover basically set up. And you'll notice around the outside, if I can zoom in, I'll zoom in up here. You'll see that I have set up a little tiny outer margin. That's the 1/8 of an inch. That's the part that's going to be trimmed off. So I'd like to know what that is. Here's my spine. You see the gutter runs all the way around. So I don't want to have anything important in that outer area. That's the area where my book is going to be trimmed off. So let's go back now to my document, my source original document, and I have a back cover and a front cover. So I'm just going to copy all of this. Just going to drag around it, copy it, like so. Hit my copy right up here, copy, and come back to my document and paste it right here, and then just move it. It's coming, all right? And just move it right over here and make my back cover like that. Look at that. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. All right? Let's go get the front cover. This is why I keep everything in the master file. It's sort of my becomes my library of stuff. So here's my front cover. Again, I'm just going to drag around it. I'm going to select. You can see everything has been selected, and I'm going to just copy this right here. Copy. Come back to my new cover. Paste it. We're almost done. This is how quickly you can kind of put this together, and then we'll just move this over here and put that right in there. All right. So we'll do the spine in 1 second. Now, what I usually do, just to make sure I have everything lined up right, is I know that the inside of this is 8 inches. This is an 8x10 cover. So the inside part right here, I know from this line to this side is going to be 8 inches. So what I will usually do is set up a center line. So I'm going to go up here to my ruler, pull down the ruler, and put it right on this inner part, because that's the part that's going to be stayed. This part outside here is going to be cut off. And I'll put a guideline at 4 inches. So whatever the middle part of the midpoint of your cover, just put a guideline. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to zero out my side and put a center line right on the 4. So I know where everything is is lining up. I also now just going to make sure everything is centered, because like the cover was sort of built in the other file, but I didn't kind of center everything up perfectly. So I'm going to just take this. I'm just going to select it, and you'll notice there are handles around the outside. This is InDesign. This is a text box. You can use these handles to line stuff up. So I just put a center line, and I just put that little dot right on top of right there. So come in close, you can see it. I now know that this block of text is exactly in the center. Same thing with this. Notice it's a little off. So I'm just going to use my little arrows on my keyboard and just sort of put that right on that spot. And I'm perfect. Everything is now perfectly in the center. Come down to the bottom. My picture was a little off, so I'm going to now just pull that over like so. I'm going to line it up with the edge of the text box, which you can see the line there. Pull this up. And I'm leaving this space here on the side, on the lower right-hand corner. That's where the ISBN number will go, right there. So I just want to make sure that's nothing there. here's my general. I put just a 1-sentence bio. I put my website, put the copyright on there. It's on the inside too, but I kind of like putting it on the back cover too. Let's fix this side. Now, this one I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm just going to make sure my text box are lined up on the edge here. That's the outer edge of the book. Make sure everything is right to the edge, right to here. You can do it either way, but because this one does run all the way to the edge, I'm just using the power of the text box, or things are centered, to just line stuff up and make sure everything. And I'm going to this inner margin right here because this part's going to be cut off, and that's going to be there. And we're almost there. Look at that. All right. Put that right to there. Put that to there. And the same with my name at the bottom. Put it right to the edge. So now I know everything is lined up right in the middle of my cover, and it should be ready to go. All right, cool. Oops, I don't know why I need all those pages. Let me get rid of those pages. Guess I didn't get rid of the 10. Okay. Let's see here. Let's get rid of, oops. Looks like I made a lot of pages. Okay, there we go. Don't want to have extra pages. So now let's put the spine in. And for the spine, I'm going to just, first I'm going to just type my text. So I don't need to put that entire cover in there. I'm just going to type how to sell your book, spaces, a bullet, and my name. And we'll just make it the font. Impact, which is what I was using. We're going to make that all caps, like so. And now we're just going to turn this vertical. Oops. And then place that right in here. Now you can put words on the spine if your cover is over, if you're making cover over 100 pages, if you're using their cover creator app, I think it's 131 pages. We're going to make that there. And then for my color, I'm going to add a color. I'm going to make it yellow. I'm going to use the same yellow that I have here. And I'm just going to draw a box underneath. So I'm just going over to my drawing tools, my toolbar right here. Let's get that right there. Let's make sure all this is showing up. And if you have questions, oh, there's Nubby. Yep, good enough, good enough. And hi, Brenda. Yep. Any questions, let me know, and we'll just keep on going here. So I'm going to go over to my toolbar right here. I have the box tool. This is where I have circles and polygons and rectangles. I'm going to select the box tool, and I'm just going to draw a box. Right. So you notice it's a little bit bigger. That's okay. And I'm going to go to my swatches, and I'm just going to fill it with yellow, like so. So these little boxes that are here, if these sometimes confuse people. So the upper one, the one that's on the front, is the one that's active, the one that you put color into it. The bottom one is for the stroke around the outside, and the upper one, notice now I click that comes forward. That's for the fill color. So you can control the fill and the stroke. And so I filled that with yellow, pull this down, and now I'm going to just send this to the back, send it to the back. And let me come in close here. So let me show you a couple of tricks here. So one, here's my cover, and I usually like to line this up with something. So I'm going to go line it up with the top piece of type that's right here. You just want something so there's some kind of a visual line, and I'll probably also raise this up a little bit on the back so that there's a line kind of going across my books. I like having where there's some things lined up going across. I can also make this a little bit bigger because I have a little more room. So we're just going to use keyboard commands and cut up the size of that. And that will sit right in there, like so. And I usually don't like these lines that you see. I don't know whether you can see this in the screen, but there's the lines. Those lines, I don't know why they do this, but InDesign gives you these extra lines. So I'm going to get rid of them. The view, extra, hide the frame edge. This is the frame edges. Just get rid of all those extra lines. Now, there's a thing about KDP now. KDP has gotten a lot pickier with their with their artwork, with their InDesign file, with the files coming up, the PDFs. And if you're going to do a bleed, which you can do with the cover, and I'm also bleeding the inside of the book, they want that color to go right to the edge. And it used to be that we would just take our box of color and just run it right to the edge. So there's the edge of the page, and I would just run it to the edge like so. What I've discovered on a number of books, is that I think this is at the edge right here. I think when I take this box and expand it and come to the edge, that I'm on the edge. In reality, there's a teeny tiny little white line there that we don't know is really there. We don't see it. It used to be okay to do it. Now they complain about it. So what I've learned to do is to run my color off the edge. So this piece right here, this section of text right here, that's going to be cut off anyways, but the PDF file needs the color to run off the edge. So it's not a big deal to do it. You just run it off a little bit. Now when you make the PDF file, let's come over here. Let's make sure. See, it's not right there. So when you make the PDF file, it will really be off the edge and they won't complain. So it's just something that saves you from getting an error message. And I just go all the way around and make sure that my color is running off the edge. You see there, I didn't get it quite right. So just run it just a little bit. Doesn't have to be very much, just enough so that it's off the edge. I kind of trim this up like so. And you'll notice I'm using the edges of the column is my spine width. So we figured that out. It makes it very convenient. And we'll just kind of run this in like so, like that. That's pretty easy. And I think we are done. Now I'm noticing I'm very close to this edge up here. So I want this to show up and I don't want it to have the chance of it getting cut. So I'm going to move this down just a little bit. This is where you make the adjustments once you're sort of making the cover, and just give this a little more black. And now I know, I'm very sure that that's not going to get cut off in any way. So, oops. There we go. There is the cover for my book. It's all ready to go. Let me save this. I should have saved it already. And we'll just put this in here. How to sell your book cover. And I'll put a 2 on there. All right. Just going to save that document. And that's ready to go. That's it. That's how it is. So I build my covers in my original. Oh yeah, all right. So let me just come out of this, and then we'll come back with the other one. So let me just come back here. I'll show you how I. Okay. So all right, we have some questions. Let me see here. Comments. I forgot what the dimensions are for making an ebook. Okay, I'll show to what I do. So let me answer the second question first, and then I'll show you the Kindle cover. So Brenda's question is, you may have covered this. I'm just signing on. How many pages should you have so you can have title on the spine? Everything that I understand, it's if you're building your cover, like I did, it's 100 pages in your book. If you're using the Cover Creator app in their, it's built into the KDP. They have a program to make covers. That I think is 131 pages. You can probably check on their specs exactly. Just go into the Kindle, and in fact, maybe I can. Let's see. We should do that because that's a key question. But I believe those are the numbers. Let's go to here. Share screen. Application. Boom. And I think if we just go to KDP, Amazon, and I'm going to sign in. And I'm going to go to help. I'm just going to type on spine. All right. And let's just see here how many pages. Spine measurements, great type, 2 types. I believe it's 100 pages. Pages, number of pages, pages for type on the spine. 100, here we go, right here. Create a paperback cover. If your page count is under 100, you shouldn't have spine text. So it's 100 if you're creating your cover. And I believe if you're using the Cover Creator, it is 131 pages. So hopefully that answers that question. So 100. So if you're building your cover, which I think you are, do that. All right. Second question. Let me go. All right. So let me just go back to my application, and we'll come back to here. All right. So what I tend to do. So what are the dimensions for making an ebook cover? So this is what I tend to do, and it has worked really well, is that as long as your cover needs to be 300 dots per inch, and it has some measurements of the longest dimension. One of the dimensions has to be 1,000 pixels or something. What I have done is I just use the front cover from my book and export it. So this book is 8 by 10. So I will go, this is a page in my book. So this is page 167. So what I will do is usually just export it. So I have found 8 by 10 works fine, 6 by 9 works fine, 8.5 by 11 works fine. They have the devices are all different sizes. It doesn't really matter. I just need to make it big enough. So what I do is I've used JPEG covers, and I'll label this KDP cover. And then I will just export page 167. That's my page that the cover is on. And I'll just make it a high quality. I'll make it 300. And that has generally all I need to do. That's it. It just makes a cover. And let me see if this is. Okay, so here it is. Here, let me just go get it and show you what that looks like. So do this, take this off, and screen share, entire screen. And if I go right here to my file, this is the cover I just made, and I click on it, it should open up, and there's my cover, right like that, okay? So it's ready to go. I don't think I have to do anything else. This is how I have done it, and I've had great luck on 6 by 9. The dimension's about right. All the Kindles are different sizes, so it's hard to sort of figure out what it should be. They just want to be a pretty big file. So that's generally what I do. Depending on whatever size book I'm doing, I just export it as a 300 dot per inch file, and it comes out with all the resolution that it needs, and it seems to be just fine. So, but you only do the front cover. So the KDP ebooks are just front cover. The print books are the back cover. Book cover, front cover, and spine. So, all right, another question. Just finished my 9th book. It's 120 pages. Made my own cover similar to what you did in InDesign. Waiting for my book to arrive. I hope it'll come out okay. I put a title on the spine. Yeah, it should. What will happen sometimes is it's tricky to judge exactly where it's going to fall, especially when it's close like that. It may fall a little bit above, wrap this way, that way. In printing, there's a tolerance of plus or minus 1/8 of an inch. You're not working with, 120 pages is a little bit thicker than this book. This is, well, actually, it's twice as thick as this. This is 50 pages. It will move around a little bit, and you're just going to have to accept that. It's not going to be exactly centered down the cover because paper moves as they're gluing it and putting it together. But you should be okay, and everything is fine. I generally try to make a color that will either blend around or is good enough, and if it comes around the front, I don't worry about it. So, cool. All right. So there we go. That's it. That's how to make the cover for my book, and it's pretty simple to do. So remember your PPI number, the 0.002347, or for black and white, it's 0.0022. Multiply times the number of pages. That gives you your spine width. Then figure out your back, spine, front, and the 1/8 inch bleed. Set up your single design. Make it 2 columns. Make a gutter down the middle is the width of the spine. And that should do it. All right. Questions, drop them in below. And we'll be putting, if you're interested in this book, my book right here, the link is above or below. It's in the description, and that's available now. And that's probably the last version, or pretty much the latest version before it starts to go. We'll be starting to move towards the launch and doing some more training. Next video will be on building the media kit for this book. And that should do it. All right. We will see you next time. All right. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for coming in, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.